in my life, I have seen angels. And not only that, they saved my life. And this is a nature lesson. So we're going to have to take you out into nature a little bit. And I got to put my glasses on because God equipped me some eyes once upon a time. It didn't work too well. Let me read scripture to you here. First I got to find it. Littering the place up. Let's see. 1 Peter 2, 9, 10. Page 1163. I have this really prepared. And then the Bible began to fall apart. But you are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, his own special people, that you may proclaim the praises of him who called you out of darkness into his marvelous light. Wow, that's pretty powerful stuff. You aren't just a general run-of-the-mill. The guy driving an old truck down the road over there, I wonder if he qualifies for that. He's not here. How's that part of the nature lesson? Where's my partner? He panicked. Uh-oh. So, take yourself away from here for a few minutes now. You close your eyes to pull this one off. You got an imagination. Hey, no sleeping back there. Close your eyes. Take your imagination to winter. Harsh, harsh winter. Close your eyes. I keep your eyes open. Got to take yourself out of this situation. Got to be cold. That's going to be hard to do. Got to be chilly, freezing cold. It was snowing fairly hard, and there was snow and ice everywhere, and that's why we went where we did. Up between El Capitan and the falls is a really hardcore hike and a climb, and we were headed there. Now you can open your eyes if you want. I won't pull any tricks on you. And so we were heading on up there with a lot of climbing equipment and a plan to go down this ridge. We were going to drop off the top side and go down someplace where we were just sure it was going to be really cool. Lowell was with me. He kind of climbs with me. I don't know if he trusts me. I think he just trusts the Lord. I don't know why he goes with me, because every time we go something adventurous happens, and sometimes it's like, wow. And this was one of those times. So it's snowing pretty hard, and there's a lot of ice. The temperature was like 18 to 19 as we climbed in there. We had about 40 or so pounds with us, mostly climbing equipment, snowshoes, crampons, and we're making our way up here. We've got to climb. You've got to go up about 1,800 feet that day to get to where we wanted to drop off this ridge. So we finally got there, but already the day was well on its way. And it's like a well thought out plan gone bad already. It's gotten colder, and it's beginning to be a little later than it should have been. And he goes, I'm dropping off the edge first and see what's down there, come back up, then you can go on. So we set up the protections, and I didn't come planned with all this equipment and stuff, and we kind of demonstrate it for you. But anyway, and he dropped off the edge with 2 ropes. Good idea, because one thing goes bad, you got a secondary rope. A problem here, and I'll introduce this early on. I'm colorblind. So we had a blue rope and a green rope.
Oh, no.
And I didn't know until something went wrong that I didn't know the difference between them. And so he's off the edge, and we were communicating through shouting. And then he went off the next ledge, and 63-meter ropes. And he went off the next ledge, and then I began to lose communications with him. I could hear him shouting, but it was kind of vague. But I figured everything was okay because the tugs on the rope told me he's still going, he's still going. And then it's kind of, nothing's happened. And nature, again, this is a nature study, remember? Nature is beginning to close in. Now, what I used to see down in there, what was Yosemite Valley, way down there, it's not, it's a snowstorm, and it's making its way even more so toward us. And you can see billowing snowstorm comes up like this, and it's billowing up from the valley, which is really nice, because that meant all the way down it's going to be heavy snow, and it's already kind of heavy snow. And I'm shouting, you know, are you okay? And I'll now and then hear something perhaps. Yeah, and then some, no, I'm stuck! Pull up the blue rope! And I'm looking at the ropes and I'm going, which rope? The blue rope! So I go, well, that looks like the blue rope to me. So meantime, however, I'm also tied in so that it doesn't pull me off this lift too. I can't get away from where I'm tied in, and there's so much tension with him on the belay that I couldn't get couldn't take the slack off to loosen this thing up. So I finally get to the blue rope, and I'm pulling and pulling and pulling and pulling and pulling and pulling, and I'm going, did he fall off the blue rope? Are you okay? No, pull in the blue rope. And finally I see way down there's some snowy bushes are wiggling, going, oh, thank you, Lord, he's okay. And then the rope comes free, and it's the bush moving because the rope was stuck in the bush, and I had the wrong rope. So he starts in again, shouting, pulling the blue rope. Well, by then, all funny was gone, because I was getting cold and a little shaky, and it's beginning to get later, and I'm thinking of him down there, and I think, he's pretty tough. I mean, he really is. But I thought, is he scared? You know, and later on as we discussed this, and we talked about, it got to the point of prayer, and he said, I hadn't started crying yet.
Yes.
And I'm going, I had. I'd been crying because I got scared. And I forgot to talk to the Lord. All I did was get scared. And then I said, wait a minute. The alternatives are, I lash this thing off, and I come up, and I take this out of the rope, and I go down to see how he is down there. And if it goes wrong, guess what? Now there's nobody to get the two of us out. And we haven't got nearly enough rope to get on down. I thought, that's probably not a good idea. Should I come down? And there's no answer. Well, I think it didn't register, because by then I'm shouting random things, and random things don't carry through a snowstorm and through a great deal of distance. And he says, I've got 5 feet. Bring me up 5 feet. I don't want to set that on the ground. And I'm trying to pull him up 5 feet, and I will tell you what, it's a matter of a lip, another lip, and there he is, probably 100 pounds at the time, maybe 105. I can get it up, and I can lock it, and I can get it up, and I can lock it, and I'm bringing up 8 inches. And then he goes back down 12. And I get him up 10 inches, and he goes back down 17, and I'm going, no, bring me up 5 feet! And it's like, I'm trying to. And finally I said, I cannot do it. And I'd lash it off, and I'd lock the thing, and I would go, please, I've got to just 5 feet. Now I'm kind of angry at the Lord. How come he's not helping? This is my friend. What am I going to tell his mom? Guess what? He's dangling on the cliff. Frozen. And I'm going, I don't know what to do. And he shouts at me, and no, bring me up 5 feet. And I thought I could tie him off, and I could hike out. It's a minimum 3-hour hike out. Minimum. Then I got to find the rescue people and get them up there. By now it's very dark and snowstorming. And he went down off the lip without a lot of survival stuff. We both made a couple mistakes that day, and one was he typically carries everything he needs when he goes off into danger. But that day it was kind of like, it's not going to be very far, I'm going to be right back. So he didn't take the usual emergency bivouac and the heavy parka and stuff. Plus the weather was getting worse, not better. I'm going, he'll be dead. Or something. And I stood and I said, Lord, and maybe you don't pray frantically. Now I'm praying frantically. I said, Lord, you have to help me. You have to help me. You can't just leave this. This is my friend. I love him. You can't leave him. If it's okay, take him away, bring him up safely, and do something to me. Maybe there's a punishment involved here. Of course there isn't. But you know, you think frantic thoughts. And nothing happened, and it got colder and darker, and I'm trying and trying. Meantime, anything you want to interject here about what you were shouting or thinking? Like, not yet. Okay. And here's where Angel. Suddenly there's a voice behind me. Hello? And I turn around and I look, and here is the most random character you can possibly picture. He's sort of a clunky-looking Hispanic guy, and he's got on jeans and sort of a shirt and tennis shoes. And he appeared from nowhere. And I said, I need help right now. And he comes over and he goes, okay. And between the two of us, you know, and all of a sudden, and I didn't even think that, what's your name, da-da-da-da. I want to get him up off that. And suddenly, he pops up the next ridge. He says, I'm okay, I can do it now. And now he's climbing, and it's looking okay. And I go, this was...
Amen. Yeah.
I tried to say thank you after. And he wasn't just walking along, he wasn't there. Now I know he went somewhere. Maybe. How do they do it? I don't know. They fly. But I'm focusing now on Lowell because I still, you know, there's a ways still, and things go bad even at the last. And Getting him up. Finally climbs over the shed and